Welcome to the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So this is a video. I've seen the previous one, which was a bit longer and better, with the same lawyer talking about Nadhim Zahawi. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly, not that I really care. But let's have a look at this.
So you were threatened with legal action by Nadhim Zahawi's lawyers for what is a very forensic scrutiny of his tax affairs. Can you just give us a summary of what happened there?
Sure. Back in July, there was noise around Nadhim Zahawi and his tax, so I looked into it. I was a tax lawyer for 25 years.
So I like this because this is the kind of guy you don't want to be enemies with. In the other interview with him, he was basically saying that he wasn't going to let this go, because obviously what happened with him is that he called Nadhim Zahawi out for possibly having tax irregularities, and he was immediately threatened with being sued and all sorts. Now, obviously, it turns out that he was pretty right in his, I'm going to say, tentative accusation or questioning. So it's the kind of person that, you know, if somebody was going to get to the bottom of things, this seems to be the kind of guy who will. So it's not the kind of guy you want to make enemies with, especially if you've got skeletons in your closet.
I'm used to looking at companies, typically companies clients are going to buy, and seeing if there's tax problems in them. So I did that with YouGov and Nadhim Zahawi. And I discovered there were some very weird arrangements involving Zahawi's founder shares in YouGov being held not by him, but by a Gibraltar company owned by his father through an offshore trust. And his father provided no money to this company. YouGov says he did nothing, but he got the shares. And those shares ended up being worth something like 27 million quid.
Wow.
And when that 27 million quid got to Mr. Zahawi, we don't know how it did, but it seems that it did. I don't think he declared it to HMRC. I don't think he paid tax on it. And so I said back in July, I said that I thought he owed 3.7 million tax. And the reports now suggest that he had entered into a settlement with HMRC when he admitted owing 3.7 million of tax, plus interest, plus penalties. So, yeah, well, I was right, but he didn't say that in July. He didn't come to me and say, thank.
I think the worst part about this whole thing is that you have, as this man said, I can't remember what his name was. His name is not in the description, which is a pity. But what is really the most problematic here is that we've got a person in government in charge of tax, also having to fight the case against HMRC. The second problem, obviously, is the blatant lying to the public and the government and journalists about the position that he is in. We cannot allow politicians to do this anymore. We have to find a way, whether it's through lobbying or protesting, to make sure that a politician needs to be literally the cleanest of the clean people. They cannot lie, they cannot break the rules, etc. And no, they cannot be forgiven because they're just human, because they want to be in that position of power. They strive to be in that position of power. That is what they want. That is their aim in life, is to be in a position of power, which means that it is vitally important that they are the most upstanding citizens that we have in our society.